What do you hope is the accomplishment of President Trump? What do you hope this administration brings for you?
I hope that he returns America back to faith, Christianity, and hope for all of the people to have a wonderful life.
What time did you get here?
Friday at what time? 9. Friday at 9.
What? Kevin, what's your name? Come here. I'm not going to bite.
Danae Roos.
Danae, where'd you come from?
Bryan, Ohio.
From Ohio. And you've been in this spot since Friday night.
Well, over there.
Over there.
Yep. They moved us here about at 4 o'clock.
Why did you want to be here so badly?
Holy cow.
Where else would you want to be in the entire world? Everything is going to change tomorrow or Monday.
And lastly, what do you hope to hear from President Trump at the rally today?
I've already heard everything I need to hear from him. He proves it every day. Yeah, I just want to see him, and I want to be happy that things turned out how they really should have.
What would you say to him if you could talk to him today?
Thank you for giving up your life for ours.
You're getting emotional?
Aww.
Why? It means a lot to you?
Same.
Mike Johnson and his fellow Trump disciples are facing some awkward questions as voters gradually realize that they've been duped.
I'm not going to predict the outcome of, first of all, which tariffs will be enacted and how it will affect prices. We'll have to see. I think you're seeing a measured approach by the president. Tariffs clearly is going to be a part of the policy agenda from the White House. All of that he's said to us will be in the executive branch and not the legislative branch, so they'll have unilateral authority over it. But I think he's going to be wise in how he does that. I don't think you'll see across-the-board tariffs in whole countries or whole industries. I don't believe that's what will happen. I think he's going to deal with the unfairness that we see out on the world stage. China, for example, is a terrible trading partner. They abuse the system. They steal our intellectual property.
Coffee from Colombia. We actually make our own coffee here too in Kona, in Hawaii, right? There's multiple things coming out of our neighbors' countries that aren't sort of reducible to one thing, but I think that's part of what the media has been articulating this entire time.
They're going into workplaces, and anyone who looks like they should be detained is getting detained without, it seems, rhyme or reason. That doesn't make sense. I think it's inhumane. But what's more, the president also said that his top priority was bringing down the price of things. Mass deportations of farm workers in California, maybe half the workforce, are going to drive food prices through the roof. Mass deportation of construction workers are going to drive housing prices even more through the roof. So which is it going to be? What is his real priority? Is it addressing the economic concerns of Americans? Or is it going to be this kind of mass deportation, family separation, randomized raids, which is what we're seeing?
Egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office. So what specifically is he doing to lower those costs for Americans?
Really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage. So I will leave you with this point. This is an example of why it's so incredibly important that the Senate moves swiftly to confirm all of President Trump's nominees, including his nominee for the United States Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who is already speaking with Kevin Hassett, who's leading the economic team here at the White House, on how we can address the egg shortage in this country. As for costs, I laid out the plethora of ways that President Trump has addressed saving costs for the American people over the past week. He looks forward to continuing to doing that in the days ahead. Thank you.
Eggs in my district are $9.19, or as one resident said, it's $10 to buy eggs, Rashida. I want you to think about this because the federal minimum wage is $7.25 right now. So grocery prices, we know, are out of control, and our government is failing to lower costs for working families. This is why my residents don't call it the minimum wage. They call it the starvation wages. It's been 16 years since Congress has raised the federal minimum wage. But let's get to the core value here of understanding this. that a mother in our country right now can work for an hour and not be able to afford eggs. So it's really unacceptable, and I heard the reasons, but they still don't add up. It's unacceptable that billionaires and corporations are consolidating their power and price gouging the American people, our families. This crisis should be our focus. I understand that there's many dynamics, right, that they keep putting forward. But why aren't we doing anything about it? Because fear and division keeps us distracted from what really is going on. Those that are rich and wealthy in our country are becoming richer under every single decision I've seen so far. One glaring thing, again, in the 200 executive orders that we've seen this week, is missing any mention of lowering the grocery prices for our families, not one word. We know there's been promises made by this current administration that they're going to lower costs for Americans on day one. But 3 weeks into the new Congress, we haven't seen a single bill to come up to the floor on this issue.
Donald Trump and the people around him want us to lose our humanity. It's easy to get numb to the constant barrage of terrible news, but that is his entire strategy. He's creating fear and spreading misinformation and exploiting divisions, hoping that nobody will be brave enough or have the energy enough to actually hold him accountable or call him out for it. We need to keep pushing people to question whether Trump's influence is truly benefiting our lives or if it's only creating more chaos and instability. It's already pretty clear which it is. The more people critically engage with the facts, the less power he'll have over us. And it's up to all of us to stay united, to reject the divisive rhetoric, and also to call a Nazi a Nazi.